Let's improve our squat today and what we call grooving our squat pattern, creating that hip hinge. It's so important to obviously move big weight to stay healthy and then create a transfer over running, jumping, whatever it might be that you're doing. So often, because our hamstrings get built, they get strong, they get tight. And as we know, we have a tight hamstring, we start lowering ourselves in the bottom position for a squat. There's a tendency for the butt to tuck, especially at the bottom. Definitely got to avoid this. And I know a lot of people want to crank reps or get more weight on and force through this, but it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And by when, I mean you're going to get hurt, you're going to get injured. Create a better effect with your training by slowing down here, taking the weight off a little bit, really grooving this pattern, getting a ton of reps, creating this range of motion and establishing this range of motion. And more importantly, now we're going to get glute, high hammies involved with our squatting, rather than just being a quad and calf squatter. So here's how we're going to do it. As always, we got to make sure we have that strong intra-abdominal contraction. This is, again, a good exercise where we don't have the weight. We don't have to worry about that, risk injury, but we get to practice it here. Keep the abs tight, create that Valsalva maneuver, just like you would if you were loaded. Again, keep breathing because you're going to be working 20 and 50 or so reps here, but still want those abs solid so that your pelvis and your spine are all one piece. Typical air squat position. Let's get our feet a little wider than shoulder width, but in a comfortable position here. Toes slightly out so the knees contract gently. Now here's the tip I want to give you here. Having your shoes on or off, it doesn't matter, but let's claw the ground. If you got your shoes on, obviously let's dig the toes into the foot. I'm not saying we're going to do this when we're jumping, running, or actually lifting when we're loaded. I just want to learn the pattern here. I want to re-emphasize what our legs have to do to stabilize as well as apply force to move us. So I'm going to engage them, create that loop, that feedback loop that we need. I'm going to claw the ground. Same time I'm clawing, I'm spreading the ground. If I was on ice, in a bathtub, anything slippery, obviously I do the splits. Splits. Friction here is my good friend. I got shoes on, got a nice rubberized floor. Claw, spread, you'll feel it in your hips, you'll feel them engage. Now, initiate the movement by pushing the butt back. Notice it's not sway back, let's not overly arch. Obviously, let's not tuck. Gentle, find that porridge, make it just right, okay? Not too hot, not too cold. Push those hips back. As we're going here, the knees gently start to bend. Fifth step here, keep your weight back on your heels. So claw, spread, hips back, bend the knees. Obviously, let's have our arms come forward to counterbalance ourselves so we don't fall down. Sometimes a 10-pound plate in each hand or 5-pound plate can help that ballast so that we maintain an upright posture and not let ourselves fall. And then we go down, encouraging as much depth as we can. We've got to make sure, have a partner, have a coach, watch your back here. This is unacceptable, and we're not learning anything. We're just straining our back. Sure, you'll be able to move weight, but it'll come back to bite you. Want to push the hips back. Want to make sure that we keep our posture upright, and then again, abs are tight. Great way, if we're having problems doing that just on air, let's use the air squat and have something sturdy to hold on to. That's why I'm here by the back. Anchor this baby down so it doesn't pull on top of you. Obviously, I'm not going to be pulling with all my might, but I do want it to allow me to drive back. Same principles, claw spread, hips back, knees bent, weight on my heels. We're not going to get the ankle dorsiflexion involved here. We're going to take that out so that we create more hip hinge and give our chance to feel what that hamstring feels like as we create tension, stretch it out, and allow it to force us back up. Almost create an involuntary contraction to push us back into hip extension, exactly what we want when we run and jump. So, same position here. Grab low on this thing. If you grab too high, you can strain your shoulder, and you kind of lose that ability to keep your weight back on your heel. Grab low, claw, spread, drive the hips back, and then come on up. Obviously, reps, reps, reps. Have eyes on you. See if we can get those hips below parallel. It's not worth doing if we have to do this. Drive back, get low, and then come up. A box or a ball, even depending on your range, can always be helpful. Want to just take the butt and kiss the box with it, all right? Just take it back gently, kiss, and then we're up. We just want that feedback right there to make sure we're grooving it right. Hips are going back and down at the same time while the back stays straight. Squatting without weight is just like squatting with weight. The variable is our range of motion. Make sure your range is solid at first, and then slowly, incrementally, as the days, weeks go by, allow the range to get lower so that you can get those hips below parallel and get the maximum benefit from this lift.